Jagex teased us with some exciting announcements, including unshelving a much anticipated update. In this video, I'll update you on some developments and the topic of monetization, which could be seeing some changes soon. Whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Let's start with the topic of monetization, and before I say anything, I want you to listen or re-listen to what the current CEO said about Runescape 3 and microtransactions on his first public appearance as CEO.
What we need to do is recognize that we're leaning a bit too much on the gas right now, maybe a lot too much, and find a way to come off the gas. It won't be quick. This is a game with 20 years of feature development and interconnected systems within it that are all tied into our microtransaction ecosystem. That's not an easy thing to unpick.
And now listen to this fragment I cut out of a very long live stream by Modhuli about microtransactions.
And obviously, as we talked about, you can expect news on what our next actions on the road to change for MTX and what we might be doing. You can expect to hear about that. All things stay the same in the next couple of weeks.
Now, you can call me optimistic, but when I hear Modhuli say we'll be hearing of things in the coming weeks, we probably will. It might take a little bit longer than expected, but I do think we'll be hearing a future MTX related change before the end of the summer. And the reason being is very clearly based on the recently released 2024 Jagex financial statements. Less players are engaging with microtransactions and are perhaps getting tired of them as a whole. In the graph you can see on screen, microtransaction revenue peaked in 2021 at 34.6 million British pounds and has shown a clear downward trend in the years since. Unfortunately, there are no details of which form of microtransactions in specific are decreasing the most. It could be bonds, it could be less players buying keys or packs, whatever, but the trend is continuing downwards, and I wouldn't be surprised if Jagex is considering a larger focus on player retention and growth instead, because at the same time, their subscription revenue is growing. The subscriber count has grown from 2.3 to 2.5 million players or subscribers, and the daily amount of subscribers logging in has increased from 1.2 to 1.3 million players. Additionally, early in the report, under risks and uncertainties, Jagex specifically highlights that changes in legislation, particularly around loot box monetization methods, could impact the overall monetization strategies. This again suggests that features like Treasure Hunter could be toned down in the near future. All of these things are reasons I believe we will actually be hearing about MTX changes somewhere soon in those coming weeks, like Modhuli mentioned. Now, in that same stream, Modhuli and Modryan talk with a bunch of developers about different topics, but two of the most important announcements are as follows. The first is the return of inverted skill capes. Modryan confirmed some doubts I had about Modhuli's interview at TwitchCon and kind of shared some new information. Inverted skill capes are returning in 2026 and not from a temporary game mode such as leagues, but they are returning as a sort of temporary event.
Okay, so yeah, you can definitely expect them in 2026. We are tying the idea of inverted skill capes to the anniversary of RuneScape. And I don't mean the 25th anniversary, I mean the anniversary, its birthday. So consider what we're looking at the moment is ways to earn inverted skill capes, sort of like as in a yearly like during the anniversary each year, you have an opportunity to earn them in some way. So think of it how you have double XP 4 times a year, inverted skill capes one opportunity a year during a period of time to sort of earn them, and it's something you can work at each year. I don't have too much more information at this stage. It's not on me necessarily to design this, but this is kind of the idea that we're looking at right now.
Now, RuneScape's anniversary is on the 4th of January every single year, so that would lead me to assume that this event, this earnable inverted skill cape event, is going to launch January 2026, which is only half a year away, basically. What I like about this is that these aren't releasing in a temporary game mode where you need to play a new account or you need to spend additional membership. No, you'll be able to earn it on your live main game account, and that's fantastic. What I don't like is that this is going to be part of a temporary event, which 100%, because these capes are supposed to be something valuable, will promote unhealthy game practices and FOMO. Yes, you should be able to, you need to work to get these capes, I agree. But if they're stuck in a sort of like 2-week period where you need to play a lot, yeah, I'm not really sure if I'm a fan of that personally. I would rather have them become a permanent addition to the game and sort of rare drop just like skilling pets are. Now, the other important announcement is the character or player avatar rework. In the live stream, it was more clearly expressed to no longer be on the shelf, as Jagex seems to have tackled the technical limitations and challenges they were facing the last few years. I still wouldn't get your hopes up, but they did show some new parts and hairstyles which I do not remember having been shown before, so they're making progress.
So yeah, at the moment what we can say is that it is not on the shelf anymore. It's something, you know, in flight, off the shelf. And we will have to, you know, we will have to talk with you and let you know when that's actually landing.
If this is a project that we have a date for and we're on that track, as Antti said, we will be out there talking to you and involving you. At that point, we'll be able to answer questions. Right now, we just want you to know it's not on the shelf. We're trying to make it happen. We're feeling confident, and we're hopefully going to get to a point where we can say, yep, you can expect it at X time, or at least X window of time. And we'll get there as soon as we responsibly can. We just want to make 100% sure we don't find surprises like we did last time before we do that.
So in essence, it's been actively worked on again, and hopefully, according to Modhuli, we'll be seeing more of it in a future RuneScape Ahead post. Now, if and when the character rework does release, it's likely not going to encompass the entire game. As Mod Ryan states, it's an old game with a lot of content, and if they want to show off or add something like this rather sooner than later, they're going to need to release it with a set amount of hairstyles, you know, set amount of quest cutscenes, a set amount of armor pieces, capes, and so on, which is what the initial project had as a goal as well, aka project scoping. With that being said, we've come to the end of this news drop or highlights video. If you're interested in all the information the developers had to say during the livestream, give the VOD linked below a listen. They talk about things such as die 295s, Draculif armor, seasonal clues for the Aurora die, and improving the early game experience. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.